right now. That is my current challenge account. So if can everybody hear me? Comment if you can hear me. And actually you can hear me, right? All right. So just a quick overview. When you're in the AlphaX, you can come over to the airdrop. This is where it's tracking your boosts and your volume. The more volume you have, the more percentage of the $5,000 airdrop. And the cool thing is that it's going to be a coin. We don't really know what coin it's going to be. It could be Doge, it could be Sol, it could be WIF. We just don't really know, and that'll be distributed after it ends. So in 8 days and 12 or 13 hours. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I have a 500% boost. I don't know what that means exactly, but certainly. So I've done 7 million in volume. Yeah. But this is pretty cool because there's really not that many people. There's 173 participants, and if you go out of the top 15, it really doesn't take much volume to get into the top 15. So that's one promotion. You also have the deposit 100, get 100, and then you still have the hot getaway spin promotion that'll be up here on the top right or in the app when you get it, and those are distributed. I wanted to give, what? Yeah, I am not at all surprised that you are trading more volume. Uh, I wanted to share, this is the same Bitcoin chart that I've been sharing. When we moved above this 69K level, I mentioned that this yellow line was really important. This is a daily, so we've got the last 3 days have all tested it. Generally speaking, consolidation at support is not great. However, really kind of consolidating at resistance. The thing that I'm starting to get concerned with is this sort of diamond pattern that's forming. And so you really start to look at these things and say, okay, this is more often than not, these diamond patterns are reversal patterns. So for me, I think that if 69K doesn't hold, we're in for a significant drop. And really, this macro higher low type structure is important. If we lose that, I'm really looking for a move down to sweep the 63K level. The holiday weekend, going into a quarterly close with futures and options not being open today is very significant. We didn't have a big shift from PCE because it came in as expected this morning. Powell said a bunch of stuff that to me was kind of contradicting itself. The market clearly doesn't see a reason to shift. Right. And he was very open-ended. And so to me, I'd like to see a move up to 73. But the longer we stay here, the more likely it is that we either drop except below and go lower, or wick down. It gets bought back up. We flush all the longs and then it goes to 73. given the fact that it's a holiday weekend, we're going into quarterly close, I'm starting to get more and more cautious and looking more and more for that either flush down, long reclaim, or just accept below and short to 63. For now, we're still above it. It's still holding, so I'm still long. And really, it's just that simple in terms of the market outlook. Sol, Doge, Sui are still coins that I think will perform really well if BTC goes to 73. And if it doesn't, then you can pretty much short just about anything, to be honest. If we do come down, then I'm going to be looking to add some BTC exposure. If we do go above this 73, 74 level, I'm going to add some BTC exposure as well. Not interested in BTC between 69 and 73. All right, so I'm going to switch over to. So now you're seeing Andex's screen. All right, can everybody still?
On the other news, what we're working on?
Well, there's a lot of other news that we need to talk about because after the KuCoin, Sam Bankman-Fried was
25
years.
He'll probably do 10 max, probably 5.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be somewhere in the range of like 10 to 15 that he'll actually serve. But at the end of the day, I think it just goes to show you how careful you have to be with your funds. Between KuCoin, Coinbase is still being sued. The FTF still, that kind of news kind of brings everything back. And so people are going to be cautious, and you have to be mindful of where you have your money, because if the exchange that you're on experiences a bank rush, then you want to make sure that they have the procedures in place to make sure that they're liquid enough to handle that stuff.
Cold storage wallet.
Yeah, for your Bitcoin, it's crazy because
whatever you're holding that you're not trading with, in cold storage.
Yeah, unless there's a reason to. Some of these exchanges offer like interest on the amount that you hold. At the end of the day, there's always going to be some element of risk anytime somebody else is holding your assets. And so you don't have that kind of FDIC insurance that really gives you the confidence with the banks. And so making sure that you do your research, you trade on an exchange that is safe. I feel safe on AlphaX. I don't think it's a matter of 100% safety, but just knowing that they have procedures in place to make sure that money in can be money out, etc.
Hey, do you know that you didn't turn the music off?
No, I didn't. Well, I turned the volume way down.
Yeah, like I noticed that it's like really quiet, and I don't have my earbuds in, so hopefully we don't get any echo from my speakers. But yeah, I was like, holy shit, the music's still playing. It's just not bothering me as much this time because it's not right in my fucking brain.
Yeah. What? So you said you were in a Bitcoin short?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you what leverage, but I think
you already know. You already know. 125x, but it moves. Bitcoin 125x moves a lot slower than a lot of the altcoins at 125x. I made basically anyone who watched on Wednesday, I lost like $2,000. On this challenge account, I lost like 2,000, and then that evening I just was scalping Ocean, like back and forth, like within a few minutes each trade, and then ended up getting back up to about 6,000, and now I'm at about 5. So I'm about back to where I started. How what?
I was just looking at the people don't always realize, even on Bitcoin, 125x when Bitcoin was at 20K moves a hell of a lot faster than 125x when Bitcoin is at 70K.
Right.
Uh, at the end of the day, it's leveraging your margin, and so if you take, for simplicity's sake, if you take $100 and you 10x it, you're buying $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. $1,000 worth of Bitcoin at 10%, $10,000 gets you 10, like 0.1 Bitcoin. At $100,000, you're getting 0.01 Bitcoin. So that's why it just moves so much different
Yeah.
depending on where the prices are.
Math.
Right.
Oh, and so
Right.
one of the other things for people that were watching on Wednesday, and apparently I said something that was pretty funny and people seemed to like. And so now we are currently working on creating a token of our own, but it's not ready to launch yet.
Well, are we going to tell them what it's called?
Dirty dick beaters.
Dirty Dick Beaters. Yeah. If y'all remember, he was talking about breaking his pinky because his teenage son had his fingers in his face while he was driving, and he called them Dirty Dick Beaters. And apparently, people thought that was hilarious. We thought it was hilarious. So it's just kind of taken on a life of its own.
Yep. Dirty dick beaters.
That's
Fucking
funny.
teenagers. It's another thing I like to say a lot. Fucking teenagers.
Well, we've all kind of been there. Uh, I was gonna run through some charts on AlphaX and just show kind of how I look at some stuff. If we're gonna wait, let me see if I can go
Go
back
for it.
to share that screen. All right, can you see my chart? All right, so one of the things that a lot of times I'll do when I come on is I look at here. You can select, instead of all, you can go to your watch list, which I have not taken the time to set. I do have a watch list. So right now it's Bitcoin, Sol, Doge, Bohm, Sui, and Floki. But what you can do is you look at the top gainers, and so this is stuff that's been moving, and then I just kind of look at it, and it lets you open it in a separate window. So the default is 15 minutes. I want to zoom out a bit, and you have to adjust the volume some. But like this, for example, right now, it's not something that I'm looking to trade. I either want to see it come down to this blue line. Obviously, there's this kind of trend right here that it broke, but now it's kind of reclaiming. And so it's not that you can always pick out a trade, but when you look at something that's moved 35% in 24 hours, there's there's a certain amount of volatility that you can expect. I'm looking at the volume on the 4-hour chart to see if it's staying the same, if it's increasing, if it's dropping. I'm looking at the Bollinger Bands to see if they're gonna if these are gonna tighten up, and then it's gonna make the next explosive move. You can see when it moves up a good bit, it kind of retraces. And we talked about that fib tool, right? So if you go and do the fib, it just kind of hovered at that 236 level, gave you that nice cup and handle, and then launched. And so from here, you're kind of waiting for that little bit of consolidation before it either dumps or goes back up. And then you just go back and you look at the next one. It doesn't. It's not that it's something that is always going to give you a trade right away. Cyber. I haven't looked at that chart in a while. Oh, that actually looks really good. Well, the problem with this one is you've got this kind of move up, but it needs to break this horizontal or come back down. But definitely, you come over here and you put in cyber. Uh-oh. You hit the little star, and now it's on your favorites, and now I will look at it as part of my watch list. I don't like it right here. Had I seen it down here, I probably would have. Or if it comes back down to this area, then I probably would jump back in. Not back in, but jump in. Let's see. What else is on the top gainers? Mask, CHD. You're not seeing a lot of stuff. I mean, when you see stuff like Doge moving 20% in a day, it's significant. And so, gosh, that actually looks pretty good too. Doesn't it? I mean, I mean, I don't have any idea from here if it goes up or down. I feel like I would prefer to take it if it came down to this 5.6, 5.7 and saw a decent reaction. But there's definitely, I guess the point is there's always opportunities, but just because you see something that's moved 30+% in the last 24 hours doesn't mean that you jump in, but it does mean that you can expect some additional volatility, especially after a consolidation. Yeah, and the thing is that if you take it quick and you're in and you're out, the problem that people get into is they try to counter trade it and it goes their way, but then they don't take the profit, they ride it and then it goes against them and then they get blown out instead of just taking that quick move. Does anybody have any charts that they want us to look at? Any alts or any other charts that folks want? Just comment in the actual YouTube and we can take a look. Let's see. I mean, I think, I think, yeah. There's obviously something wrong with them. I don't want I don't want to rope him in with all of the autistic folks. I feel like that's a disservice to them. Yeah, that's funny. Um, somebody, I I read a story about how he got started, and essentially when I think he was, it may have been MIT, but he noticed that the price of Bitcoin would go up during the Asia session and down during the New York session, and he basically would just buy $1 million. He would spend, they would have a, just a buying algo, buying Bitcoin during the day in East Coast time, and then selling it at night during East Coast. Well, Asia was, and for like weeks they were just making like money hand over fist. Um, so somebody asked about Sui. I'm currently in a Sui long. It's not doing stellar. I'm down 10%. Um, but it is a full position. I've got basically $500 into it, and you can see here what I'm looking at is this wick right here, this wick right there, and I'm looking for a bounce. If you zoom in a bit, I think you can kind of see that it's at a support. And so at this point, if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. But I, I'm looking for this to move up, and I'm looking for it to move up a good bit. Actually, this is the only TP that I have right now, which is really, really far off, seemingly. But I think at the end of the day, that's the kind of move that I want. I'm a little bit concerned about this lower high. And if this breaks down here, I don't want to be long anymore. But I would expect that at the very least, this trend line gets tested, and I will probably end up, if this moves up and goes green, I'll probably end up setting a TP level somewhere where that Bollinger Band ends up interfacing with this trend line, and then see what happens after there. Let's see, what was the other one? Fill. And you can see that I'm checking these on the AlphaX. I certainly have my levels on my trading view charts, but I find the AlphaX charting to be very, very easy to use. So I like it. I don't have a problem checking it right on here. So Phil is kind of interesting. This level right here, this where this wick was around the 10.1, seems pretty significant because you've got these wicks over here, you've got this wick over here. So if it were to accept above this level, I would feel pretty good about it. But as it stands, what I'm basically seeing here is this kind of channel, right? And so I would basically watch that channel and see what happens. It could start trending this way. It could break up that way, but I'm not really interested in scalping this channel on fill. I'd rather just take that when it breaks. And I think I saw Link to the to to the upside. So Link, to me, it's pretty different. One of the things that I would look at on Link is the BTC pairing. This to me looks like it's in a more of a consolidative structure than anything else. I mean, obviously it tried to break up and failed. after this getting bought up and it's following Bitcoin. But to me, it's like it's just in a range, and so I would do the fixed range indicator, and that's going to give you a pretty good idea of where to go with it. Inputs 240, and so essentially what you're looking at here is you've got a lot of volume on this range that's top heavy, and so this would have been an easy short fail because it tried to go above this fixed range POC and failed down. Obviously, we missed it. To me, I either want to see a break above this or a break below 18.4 and then see where it goes. But in big picture, this looks like it's just consolidating for the next bigger move. But if you remember correctly, Link moved pretty hard early in this run, so I'm not surprised to see it just kind of hang out for now. All right, anybody else have a chart request? I don't know who that is. Hmm. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's a YouTube thing. Oh, you guys want to look at Bohm? Let's see. So this chart is just ridiculous. And one of the first thing I do on something like this is I fib it. And to me, as long as it holds above this 1255 level, I think we go higher. I think you can kind of see this general trend, and what you're going to end up having is it's either going to break down below this or it's going to break up. And once it breaks above this wick, which the top of this wick here was the 50% retrace of this giant thing, but ultimately if you reclaim this 169 level, you're looking for a move back to 0.02. The safe entry is either to enter when it's closer to that 125 area and it bounces, or when it breaks out of this trend to a move to 0.5 or a move from 0.5 up. But I do like this chart. The hard thing about something like Bohm is that it's gonna bore you, and it's just gonna move somewhat irrationally until it makes that decisive move. And so at some point you have to just kind of commit. I think it needs to, I think it, I, let me go back to it. I think that it in the lower time frame, it does kind of look like if it lost this kind of trend, and to me it does look like it's going to keep going down. When you see stuff like this is systematic selling. This is somebody turned on their sell bot and is TWAP selling. If you have a large amount of the coin and you just hit sell now, the price is going to plummet and your fill is going to be horrible. If you just set your sell order up here, some of it's going to get filled and the price is going to go against you. So essentially what they do is the bot is just selling at increments and you see this slow walk down. Now, maybe here there's more buying and that's what caused that. Or maybe they temporarily turned off the bot. You don't ever really know. But at this point, it just looks weak, and it looks to me like it's just getting ready for people to. This was systematic selling into buying. If it breaks down here, it's going to be actual selling and stops. There's going to be a lot of people that got long, somewhere between here and here, that are going to get that have their stop loss somewhere between 0.438 and 0.429. And so at this point, it just makes sense for this to push down, take all those people out. And if there's buyers, and they'll get in, it'll move back up. And if not, it'll just keep going down. I don't know. I don't know if that's a like a subscriber type YouTube feature where they're allowed to do that. Hmm. Yeah, I suppose so. All right, so let me go back to. We'll go back to your screen for a bit.
Oh yeah. What screen does it show? Oh, okay. That's not on my chart. Oops. Yeah. I need to stop trying to like these 125x on some of these fucking altcoins is just retarded. It's so
Yeah, you
bad.
really have to. You really have to do cross margin and just be okay with using lower leverage and giving it some space.
Yeah.
You could also just use like 50x, which is a lot on some of the stuff.
Yeah. I agree. I just lost $1,000 in like freaking 2 minutes.
On RVN.
Yep.
So one of the things that
Yeah, there's my order right there.
one of the things that I'm trying to work on is getting, so if you're trading or I'm trading, is to have like the current P&L show up just like separately, like maybe even where that QR code is, so that it'll show the current P&L for each of us for unrealized, and people can see it easier because it's hard to see on the chart.
Right. See what this does. This fucker's gonna like bounce hard. I'm gonna be fucked. What else do we have to talk about?
Let's see. Well, we were going to talk about. I wanted to do a segment on risk management, but I feel like we've both been pretty bad at that. So
I've never
I
been good
feel
at
like
that.
I would feel very hypocritical after the trades that I took last night, telling people that they need to be
Well,
cautious. And
you know how it is. Like I always used to say, same way with my kids. It's do as I say, not as I do.
well, I think at some point, if you have a challenge account, you do take some risks that you maybe wouldn't take normally. But yeah, it's one of those things that you have to know when to stop. The big thing is knowing yourself and knowing when it's gone too far and recognizing it early. And what I tell people is there's an inner dialogue, and you know when you're not thinking straight. For me, when I size up to make up, and my internal dialogue says, "Well, if you just double down here, you can make it back real quick."
Right?
That's my cue to stop because I'm
Yeah.
no longer thinking straight. My brain is taking over and doing
That greed.
irrational things.
Yeah, that greed and wanting to make it back takes over. I don't do it. See, for
Yes,
me, my problem is I don't care enough.
um,
It's like I lose, and I'm like, fuck it, let's try again.
right. I mean,
I think I'm
sometimes if you don't
starting to realize that
if you
I
don't
just
trade
can't.
enough.
Yeah, but sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
I was gonna say I watched a YouTube video a long time ago where the trader was asked the question, what can most people do to greatly increase their chances of being profitable? And he said go all in. Like most people size in too short, too small. It's not a big enough risk. They're not taking it seriously, and it's death by a thousand cuts type of situation
Right.
because you're just jumping into all these trades. What he said was, you know, put some skin in the game.
Yeah.
Make it so that it's going to hurt if it doesn't work out, and then you start to really be careful and pick the best setups. And because you went big on them, you're going to make more. And it always resonated with me because I like to take a lot of small trades just because it kind of like feeds that over trading desire. And then
Right.
it's when I see the golden setup that I really do something that's meaningful. And you can lose money for days or weeks and make it all back very quickly if you size up at the right time.
Right.
And it's the same thing with some people are going to say that poker is gambling. Poker players would say that it's not gambling and it's a system, and it's
Hmm.
just about knowing when to trade what and having a system that's repeatable.
Right. I can't remember what the point was I was going to make, but oh well.
And then just so folks know, that the new folks especially, if you comment with your AlphaX UID, you'll be entered into a raffle, and we are going to pick 3 winners that will receive $20 trial funds in their AlphaX account.
Probably get it by tomorrow. Well, the weekend's coming up, so it is Friday, so maybe not tomorrow. Might be Monday. I have to ask the team.
Yeah, the CFX.
FX.
All right, pop over to mine. Yeah. All right, CFX. Everybody has their own way of looking at things, but I think you'll notice when that looks really nice, low time frame. Here's what I don't like about this is this volume. This kind of tells me the way this is structured is that this ran some stops. So it had this move up It came down. This is forced selling, and now it's just kind of bouncing back, and the Bollinger Bands are tightening. To me, I always want to look at the higher time frame, especially if I'm giving an opinion to somebody else. But you can see right here, this this level is very, very clean breakout. So something along those lines, and it came down to retest, and I like this for upside. I like this a lot. If Bitcoin is gonna hold 69K and move up to 673 over the next 2 days, CFX looks like it would seriously outperform. This is the kind of structure that you're looking for. When things go straight up, it causes problems. It causes problems with liquidity. It causes problems with valuable levels. It's not healthy. But here, every time this drops, there's aggressive buyback. It reaches a resistance, it pulls back, it came up, it consolidated at resistance, it moved up, now it's back to test it, and this looks like a really solid spot. So one of the things that I'll do, yeah, one of the things that I'll, oh, in the comments. Meanwhile, I'm like struggling with, they were making fun of me in the Discord because I had I think it was a soul long at 51x. And I'm like, I don't know if it's my fingers, but I couldn't get that to 10x. So I'm like, yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark it in $50 and it's 10x. And what I do is I'm going to take the take profit percentage. Yeah. I should have taken that because I really like that too. Um, so I'm setting my stop losses as just kind of semi-random. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set this stop loss over here below this blue line. And I'm going to set this TP up here. And then what I will do is I will add back into this position as it shows strength or it pulls back closer to that blue line and my invalidation. Right now, the invalidation is too far away for me to take a $500 position. So as it comes back, I'll add to it. If it shows strength, I might add to it, but that's kind of what I'm looking at right there. And then the other thing that I need to do is just make sure that I don't close that out completely there. And these will change as I add. I'll have to change these stops and these levels, but this looks good. I think it looks good to keep moving up. Right. Well, it was always going to be like a holiday Friday when the markets are closed. It was always going to be a little bit lighter on the viewing, but we wanted to make sure and stay consistent, give the crypto folks a chance to ask questions. I'm going to go back to show you guys the preface. Let's see. So if you look at Index's chart, you can see his entry, and you can see that number in that rectangle is green. That's showing you that he's green on his trade, and actually that CFX trade is actually green now too, not by a lot, only like 3%, but it was
Oh,
only 10x. So
oh yeah, you did
we're gonna
enter
have to
that, didn't
figure,
you? FX.
yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how that overlay, the Ahmed overlay came in.
Yeah, because it
That was
stayed
driving me
for a while
nuts.
too.
Yeah. Hmm.
Shit. I can't stop yawning.
All right.
I haven't been to the gym yet, so I feel like a wasted day.
Yeah, I
Which
don't think I'm gonna make it to the gym today.
I'm going after this. The problem is, though, is that when I go, my daughter always wants to go with me because I got a membership at Lifetime, so they got the swimming pools and basketball courts and pickleball courts and rock climbing walls
Nice.
and all that.
Yeah, that's good. Well, it's good to stay active.
Yeah, yeah. Got tired of being
The
fat,
other
dude. I tell
the
you what,
other
like
crazy.
the trip to Costa Rica last year, damn near killed me. And
Really? How
yeah,
so?
and I'm going back in like 2 months from all the walking and like we went to so they have the Arenal volcano and it's like rainforest region and it's got the volcano and stuff, waterfalls and stuff. We went to the La Fortuna waterfall, which is and you have to walk down like these stairs to get there, which walking down is fine. Coming back up is what sucks. It's like 540 steps, and I'm not joking. Like by the time we got to the top, I thought I was going to die. Look, I'm up 200% now in RVN. I'm like
Uh,
that's a ride for a little while.
scroll down again so people can see that.
215,
So
yeah,
yeah, that's 1,000. See, that's the thing is that when you can lose 2 grand, but also make it back
yeah,
quick. I should have taken that RVN. I'm not really sure why. I'm just hesitant because we're still really in a bull market, so I'm still
yeah.
kind of hesitant to short, but I'm also very
CVX long
hesitant
is
to
looking
long
good
here.
though. How much you up on that CVX?
5% on
CF
10x
CFX. I said CVX.
CFX. Yeah.
Oh, you're on
So
10x.
the thing with that, yeah, the
Oh,
thing with
eight.
that CVX trade is that if you scalped it, it's going to go up. But I'm looking to fill a bigger position and hold it kind of all weekend would be ideal, and get that move up to 73K for BTC, and that would pay nicely. I'm a little worried just seeing it now that I'm going to end up pretty undersized on it, but
Right.
you know,
Did they ever fix it to
we'll
where we
see
can
how it
set stop
goes.
loss and prop? Oh no, you said something about that. You have to turn off the guaranteed stop loss.
Yeah, so if you go into your trade and your stop loss, there's a button on the top right. See where it
Okay,
says
yeah,
advanced in green? No, you gotta go see where it says, yeah, there. Now you
yeah.
can
Okay,
toggle
turn that
guaranteed
off.
off, but not
Gotcha.
on the take profit. You want to do it on the
Yeah, the
stop
stop
loss.
loss. Yeah, I was just curious.
Eh, Yeah, and then once you do that, it lets
I
you
guess
do
they
it.
should at least put it at entry. Oops. Where's the damn?
So you have to put a 0 and then a period and then another 0.
Gotcha.
Yeah. See, everything has its little quirks.
See, it says must be greater. I turned off the. Oh wait,
No, it's still on.
I had turned it off.
And so
Okay, you
that's
good
one of the
now?
things that we're gonna
Yeah, we're good now.
that I told them
Look
because
at that,
we are working.
265%.
Jeez, I really should have taken that one. That's funny.
I'm on
One of the
300%.
things
This is
one of the
why I
things that
trade the
I've
way I
been
trade. My dogs are outside barking.
that's a significant chunk of change. One of the things that we're working on with AlphaX is just making it more user friendly. So having that guaranteed stop loss be able to be removed easier or more automatically. So if you move your stop loss in a profit, it just automatically takes that guaranteed feature off so that you don't have to jump through those hoops, is one of the things that they said they were going to try to work on for the next update.
Yeah. Hmm. Where should I cut this at? 448. What's that going to put me up? Damn it. That'd be almost $3,000. I'm live streaming, dude. What can I do for you? This is the one with the dirty dick beaters.
Screw you.
Does he understand
Yeah, he trades
that?
a little bit. So I showed him the clip, and so we decided to make our own cryptocurrency. It's called Dirty Dick Beaters.
What the fuck?
Should have made it a picture of his face.
That's great.
Dirty Dick Beaters.
You know, the thing is, now that we've told everybody, we got to launch it before somebody else steals the idea.
Yeah. I mean, we've already started to launch it. It's not fully launched.
I'm at 700% on this one.
Nice. Starting him young.
700% on ABUSD.
What is it?
100%, 700%.
On Doge and Ape?
Yeah.
330% on a Doge long? Am I in the pre-sale? What are you offering? Where we at now?
Yeah, me and Cody just go back to the gym. So.
Yeah, I'm going to the gym here in a little bit. Taking your sister.
We dropped me a lot off here.
Yeah, I know you did. I'm on a live stream. Beat it, dude.
Alright, see you.
Out of my office. And keep those dogs quiet.
Yeah, I know. Chop was outside. Like, he's out here. But that's nothing.
Awesome. Good to hear.
And then he jumped in Cody's car and Cody's at them.
Right on.
Yeah, so index is coolly up $1,600, while my lowly CFX trade is up $3.
Did Bitcoin pop? Is that what happened?
A little bit. I wouldn't say it popped, but it's definitely on the move up. Actually, I kind of like Sol here.
There's enough to liquidate me. Well, yeah, I definitely need to switch to cross margin on everything because I keep getting liquidated on stupid shit when I shouldn't.
I'm gonna take a Sol long here. It's kind of mid move with a really tight stop loss. If it moves up, I think it could. Only because I was long earlier and I got wicked out on that flush down, and I like
I'd
Sol
wait to
as well.
see what it does at that one. What is it? 187.25.
Basically, if it goes up here, I'll be happy. If it doesn't, I'll just cut it for a small loss and wait for a better entry, I guess.
Oh, I could definitely hit that TP. Come on, I want to make $3,000. Come on with it. I'll look at Sol since you were talking about it. People know what you meant. See, I do my volume different. Yours is down there. I have mine overlaid on the top.
Yeah, I struggle with the overlay. Like, my charts on TradingView are black and white, and sometimes it gets a little confusing. And then I use relative volume, so I'm not looking so much at whether the candle is red or green. I'm looking at my colors are more, they're telling me if there's a shift. So on my volume, if that candle traditionally has X volume and this candle is 20% higher volume than what the algo expects, it'll make it a specific color just so that I can see that there's more volume than normal, and it'll count back. So if it's open and it's a 9:30 candle, it's going to account for what the normal volume is during that time range or that period.
Right.
I have this issue with people in their charts where like they have so much stuff that they can't see the candles. And so for the most part, I like to be able to focus on the actual candles, not like the indicators and the stuff. Like I want to see how price is moving more so than anything else. And sometimes stuff gets messy. So I'm up 6% on that CFX trade that was 10x. I'm up 4% on Sol at 51x. But Sol's kind of
330 on RVN.
You got it?
No, I haven't closed it, but I'm up 330%.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's all right.
Here,
Well, I do know how to
switch
trade.
over. I'll switch over to mine so you guys can see. So I entered right there. Just looked like it had nice momentum. Don't look too much at the AlphaX volume because it's not necessarily right. But yeah, up 140 bucks on that so far, and would like to get. I'm guessing it's somewhere around 187's been really good to me. That's not very far away. But I'm probably going to just go ahead and take. Oh no, we're above 187. What is it? 188. Probably. I think like 188.5 would be a decent first CP. I really don't want to take a loss. I don't like taking losses. Nothing. And you can see, well, I was changing my stuff around. So what I do is I set, like I said before, I set my TP and stop loss, and then I just kind of shift it on the chart. It's easier for me to kind of do that. But right now, if you can see zoomed in, that trade's up $100, and hopefully it makes it up to 188.5. I think Bitcoin is going to test VWAP here, which is another roughly 300 bucks up. So I think I should get that Sol TP, and if not, if Bitcoin starts to curl over, I may just move my stop loss into break even just to not risk it. But yeah, CFX is small. I need to work on that. It's up 6%, and Sol is doing good. I'll go back to indexes chart. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that short's going good.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, do I want to go ahead and just cut?
Yeah. How much are you up on that?
Almost 400%. Almost $2
2
grand.
grand. Yeah, I mean, for me, like I would absolutely close 75% of that and set the stop
Yeah.
loss and profit, and then I would TP more at that level that you have, and even possibly leave like $100 in it to.
That's what I was thinking.
Well,
Like I might
$100 is a lot, but
close like half of it.
honestly, at that point, like that's a substantial win. So I would probably take that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's a very pretty short. Oh, my Sol popped. It's up $240, 15%.
Nice. Go ahead, keep dropping, fucker. I'm fine with it. Keep going. Nah, yeah, it looks like it wants to bounce here. Oh. Damn it! Should have took it in at 400.
All right.
Just waiting for them.
Move that TP on Sol down a little bit and go ahead and make this kind of risk free and take some profit and see. I'm going to leave my stop loss at a loss, but go just below 187. Hopefully 180 holds, and I think this can run up to, instead of taking a TP at 188, I'll take the next one at 189.7
Come on.
just to kind of front run that 190 level if I can get it.
I didn't trim any yet. Still feel like it looks like it wants to bounce, but looking like that it's trying to push back down. I should be looking at the fucking Binance chart.
All right, so yeah, Sol went 16% green. I'm all about those easy, small wins.
Yeah. Come on, fucker. Like I would have been fine to cut half when it was at 400%, but then it like bounced and then it was only at 200. Now I'm sitting at around 300.
Yeah, the problem is if it keeps going.
Yeah.
Those are my like statistically the worst losses that I take, and it's what happened yesterday with Bohm is I aped into it where I shouldn't have, opened $250 red, went $500 green, and then it just kept going against me and against me and against me. And like those trades where they like go your way very quickly and then go against you, I have such a hard time cutting.
Come on, fucker. Keep dropping. Well, why is it that when we do a live stream, people start showing up at my house?
You're so popular.
I got my kids are here. My niece just showed up with her son, and then my other niece is here. And I think my nephew's here too. Like, what the fuck? Here we go. Come on. I'm basically just sitting here watching it, and like if it gets close to 300 again, I'm gonna cut half of it.
Ooh, 188. So that so long is now up 21% on 51x. Yeah. Not too shabby. So to put it in perspective, if that was a 125x trade that I had taken, which really never went against me at all, that would be up like almost 60% now. But to me, it's just not worth it because that could have gone the other way.
I cut half of it, so at like 310% up, so like $800. So I got my initial investment out of it plus $300 and then stop loss in profit. So I could basically just stop watching it now.
Well, I think here, let me go back and share my screen with folks so they can see. If I trimmed early, but if I had held it, this would have been my original TP area, and I just moved it up since I'm waiting a bit longer. But that was, I mean, it really never, once it broke up above that level, it hasn't really, I don't think that trade went red at all. Those are my favorite. Those should be everyone's favorite. All right, let's see. Let me check Algo. That's solid. That was a good trade. That's like the best. That's the best. That's the best stream trade we've seen. Okay, so Algo Algo is doing. We saw this on. Honestly, I'm not sure which chart we saw this on, but it's kind of very similar to me. You can see this golden pocket retrace, and now it's got this. People will call that a flag or a pennant or whatever. It's consolidating here. To me, I want to see it go under this 256 or clear this high, this 295 level. I think here in this middle between this pink and this green line, you're going to see a lot of chop and indecision. The question here is this going to break up or down? And nobody can tell you that. What you have to do is either be very confident, like that soul trade that I just took, and have a really tight stop loss if you're trying to catch that break, or wait for a move down. Long a red candle, short a green candle until it breaks up. But from here, not only is it consolidating, but it is also in the middle of what I would consider to be a range. So it's mid range in chop, and there's just nothing to do there. If it comes up and rejects, you short. If it comes down and bounces, you long. If it leaves this range, you go with the move that's leaving the range. But you can't trade it from here. I mean, on a low time frame, I'm sure you might be able to see some stuff, but the problem with low time frame is that it changes pretty quickly. You kind of have like a head and shoulders thing going on here too, low time frame. So I would be careful. I think this is probably going to dip down, take out that, where is the red line? Head down to like 2.6, 2.5 area, and then either bounce and go up and take all these highs out, or continue going down.
It'll be $4,500 profit.
Jeez.
I was just looking at the daily, and I'm like, looking for like about a 50% retrace, so somewhere around here from when the run that it made.
I've gotten in the habit of drawing those fib lines because in my mind, I just see it. Like, I've gotten really good at it's because my fib levels are so basic. Like, a lot of people have like 10 different fib levels, and I just have 3, and they're really just super basic because you're basically 236 is basically 25%, and then there's a half, and then the golden pocket is essentially pretty close to 75%. So to me, it's like I pick those levels out automatically when I look at the charts, but I've gotten in the habit of drawing them out so people see it, because the only reason that I pick them out naturally is because I spent so much damn time drawing those fibs on so many goddamn charts. And so it's instinctual now. So I'm going to go back to show folks. This is the so long that I took, and it's going pretty good. It's up. Let's see, how far is it up? It's up 38% on 51x, and I trimmed it pretty good. I still have $400 in, but I went kind of heavy on it because I knew that if it started to go against me at all, I was going to cut it. So even with a very large position, which I think was like $1,500, I wasn't going to risk more than $200 on it, or 300. It was going to be close, and I'm nice and green for the day, so I was able to kind of just have that leeway. But at this point, it's going pretty good. And then let's take a look at this. So $7,400, which is chugging along. I don't think I've had knock on wood, I don't think I've had a red day on this challenge. So, right? Well, I can't do red days because then you would just like blow by me. That's funny. All right. So, anybody else have any charts they want us to look at? I know a lot of the charts I said weren't stuff that I would trade right now. If you look at this Sol that I took, because it's on my watch list, like Bitcoin's red 1.5%. Doge, boom, everything up here is red. Cyber, I really like that chart. But essentially, I was able to take that because that chart is bullish, and I'm very much biased Sol to the upside. But when you see a coin that's up, that's green when everything else is red, then you want to long those. All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up. We'll release the schedule for next week for streams. I think we're gonna stick to mornings around open. I'll share. Yeah, especially if the market's open. Wow, that's solid. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, well, we'll announce that. You'll see it in the Discord too. If folks want to get updates over the weekend in terms of, you know, I don't like to trade weekends heavily, but I'll check the charts in the morning, in the afternoon. If I'm gonna enter anything, I will make sure to share it in the Discord. It's free. All the links to all the promos are in there, so you get tons of free rewards and you get access to be able to ask questions. For me, I'd like to see this Sol hit that like 189, 190 level. And if it takes that, there's a bunch of other sticky levels. But at this point, I think if Bitcoin's going to go up, Sol's going to outperform. And so I really would just probably hold the rest above that and see what happens. Tune in next week. Let us know if you have any suggestions, comments. If you like what we're doing, if you don't like what we're doing, let us know in the comments. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you get alerts when we go live. And no, you're supposed to care because the extra comments are going to trigger the YouTube algo. So go ahead and flame us. We don't, you're not going to bother us by saying bad things about us. We don't really care. All right. So yeah, subscribe and check out the Discord, Twitter. All that information is on there, and we'll keep you all updated. Hope you have a good weekend. Happy Easter. And if you're not in a good trade, the weekend, holiday weekend, going into quarterly, monthly, weekly close is not the time to chase. Things are going to get volatile. Wait for that wick. Be patient. Wait for the entry. There's going to be golden opportunities. It's kind of inevitable. So Sol is just chugging along towards the next TP. Hopefully some of you all got in a couple of those trades, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.